And it'll be second down and 9.
Kenny, that's been one of the better defensive calls or plays for Brother Martin. You'll see they have the dive man covered here. They'll have the quarterback covered. And you can't see it right here, but the pitch man is covered as well. He didn't have any options to really handle in that particular play.
From the 11-yard line, second down and 9. Blitz is on in the flat. There he is, Mark Smith, 5, touchdown Blue Jays. Ricky Chanot from 11 yards out to Mark Smith, and Jesuit now leads it 24-7. Frank Monica clapping, and so are the Jesuit fans on the opposite side of the field.
I don't know who the parents of these two young men are, but they've got to be some proud of them because they put this offense as the completion to Mark Smith. They make it a wide-open, explosive offense, and I tell you, Jesuit uses them.
And this time they'll try to kick the extra point with Trey Craig, and Craig this time has it up and through. Timeout on the field, 2:51 to play first half, and it's been all Blue Jays. They lead the Crusaders 25-7. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, I'm Bill Burris. Join me for the wonders of nature on the Discovery Channel.
Join Bill Burris and the Discovery Channel for a fascinating journey around the world. Amaze at the diversity of the animals that inhabit our world and discover the importance of preserving our natural resources as New Animal World premieres only on the Discovery Channel.
2:51 to play here in the first half, and the Jesuit Blue Jay offense has been brilliant. They lead it 25-7. Mark Smith has had quite a game thus far with 3 touchdowns. He's caught 4 passes, and he's rushed for 82 yards. And as for Ricky Chanot, he's been outstanding thus far as well.
Chanot is having an outstanding night. He's 8 for 13, 139 yards. But Kenny, he is on the money with the ball, and he's done an outstanding job of reading and scrambling.
Keller has the kickoff in the air down to the 15-yard line. Up to the 20, Miller 25, 30, has a hole, 35, and up to the 39-yard line as he followed the wedge blocking very well. Chance Miller gives the Crusaders some good field position at their own 39-yard line. 2:44 to play in the half. Brother Martin down by 18. They have 2 timeouts, and you get the feeling that they almost have to get something going here.
Kenny, I do. And you know, you hate to feel like you want to pull for one team as you're broadcasting a game, but I'd like to see Brother Martin make something happen right now. And I'm sure their coaching staff would as well, but heck, they are too good of a team to be getting beat this bad, although they'll be getting beat by a good team tonight.
On first down, the first man through is Errol Sanders, and this time he gets positive yardage up to about the 43-yard line. Errol Sanders for 4. Second and 6.
Scott Simpson breaks the huddle, and he's got to do it with fire in his eye because he's got to get his ball club pumped up.
On the option play, keeper Simpson has room and has his first down up around midfield. So he shook one tackle and did a good job on the keeper there. Simpson picks up 7 yards and a first down as the Crusader band waits to perform.
Here's the play right here. Great read right there, and you can see number 42, Sanders, was picked up, but a fine play by Scott Simpson in the first down, and that's what they need. They need something positive to happen, and they've picked up a first down. It's been a while since they've been able to control the ball, and they're going to use one of their timeouts. Kenny, I think there was a problem trying to read the play that was being called in from the sidelines.
Randy Johnson, Bob Conlon, Al Pontiff, the veteran coach, still coaching offense for Brother Martin. And, of course, the Quad A top 10 in Louisiana this week, Manny.
Well, you see West Jefferson there in the number 2 slot and St. Aug in number 4. I tell you, I know how good West Jeff is. I didn't know St. Aug was as good as they were tonight. Covington is a fine football team from our area. South Lafourche, I think most of us in this area are familiar with anyway, and they've got a fine program. But it's nice to see teams like West Jeff, St. Aug, right there in the heat of it. And they are 2 fine football teams. One, that St. Aug team, is you're going to hear a lot from them. They were awesome. They're big, they're physical,
they're fast,
and
they're well coached. The wing-bone offense, a wishbone look from Brother Martin here behind the quarterback Simpson on 1st and 10 from midfield. On the read, he keeps it option to about the 45, 44 as he leans forward, and Simpson Doing a good job running the football. Picks up 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down and 4.
Kenny, we've got 1:47. If Brother Martin could come out and just relax and run this type of offense in the second half and control the ball like they're doing right now, it's just they're working against the clock, it'll be a good second half and probably turn out to be a good football game.
Wide side, the right side of the field. Again, the wishbone look. Simpson again. This time pitches it on the ground, and who has it? I believe Jesuit. They do. The Blue Jays come up with the errant pitch in the person of number 97, Everett Bonner, the right defensive end. And the first Crusader turnover proves costly.
Here's the replay. Errol Sanders is the fake man inside. And here's the pitch. It's a left-handed pitch, and it just slipped out of his hand. It was going to LaRose, but LaRose fell on it, and it came through his legs as he pounded on the ground, and Bonner comes up with it. And I tell you, Jesuit has been efficient enough tonight to try to put something on the board here.
Blue Jays with plenty of time, 1:25 to play. And the Blue Jays have a new quarterback in the game in number 2, Kelly Parrington, the 5'11", 155-pound sophomore. And flags are down, and I think the Jays again took too much time. Boy, they've hurt themselves with 7 penalties now and 2 turnovers to Martin's 1 turnover. Nothing wrong with Ricky Chenot that I can see. He's on the sideline standing and watching. I think Frank Monica would just like to get Kelly Parrington some experience. And, of course, that Parrington name has been one that has gone down in history at Jesuit. O'Neal Parrington, a fine lineman. Tim Parrington was a terrific quarterback. And now Kelly Parrington, 5'11", 155-pound sophomore. I formation behind Kelly on 1st down and 10 from the 41-yard line. Make it 1st and 15. And again, flags are down. And again, I think the Blue Jays are guilty this time of movement.
Kenny, I think that particular play was just the players hearing a different voice and a different cadence from their quarterback. There was a procedure call, and there was a movement in the interior line, and just not used to Parrington's signals.
And I think Parrington will come out here, and Chenot will return for Jesuit. Frank Monica doesn't want to see this opportunity go down the tubes as Tommy Mitchell paces the sideline for Brother Martin along with Jerry McTurn. 1st down and 20 now. Jesuit at their own 37-yard line. And they give us to Calamari. Calamari fights forward for 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down and about 16 yards to go as the clock continues to tick with 1:15 and counting. That's a good little football player, Calamari. He's 5'9", 185, stocky. He's a good blocker and a very adequate runner. We've seen his blocking this far tonight.
We have, and you'll see his running too. He's got good balance. He moves his legs. He doesn't stop, and he'll pick up the extra yardage when needed.
From the 40, 2nd down, 17 Jesuit. 50 seconds and counting to go here in the 1st half. Chenot gives it to Mark Smith. Mark Smith dives straight ahead to about the 45-yard line, possibly the 46 as the clock continues to tick. And Mark Smith on the play picks up 5 yards. 39 seconds as you see and counting. Mark Smith adds to his total. Jesuit not intent to be running plays quickly here. They're content with their 18-point lead. Of course, if they did make a big play, I'm sure they'd try to keep it going. They do not have a timeout remaining. The Jays are not worried about things. They're just taking their time here.
They don't want to make a mistake right here and get Brother Martin something to be excited about when they go in the half, because as you look at the sideline right there, they're not too excited about what's taking place in this 1st half.
And there's another delay of game penalty against Jesuit. That's the 8th penalty against the Blue Jays here in the 1st half.
It's unusual. They're usually a well-disciplined team. I think that one in particular may have been almost taken on purpose because they didn't really try at all to get that play off. And they're just trying to get that clock run down, and they can go in and talk about what they have to do in the 2nd half. And one of it is to hold on to 25-7 lead, but the other is to continue playing as aggressive as they have.
From the 40-yard line, 3rd down and 17 to go, and a fumble on the play. So you try to be careful, and what happens? They fumble the ball with 7 seconds left, but Calamari did get it back, I believe. And the clock showing 3 seconds. Brother Martin wisely takes their final timeout. They're going to make Jesuit handle the football here.
Well, it's I mean, very good football right here. You think about what happened to San Francisco and Cincinnati a week ago with just a couple seconds left. You have nothing to lose. Now watch this fumble here. The ball is going to really be flipped out. I don't know if the ball was really taken well, and it wasn't. DiMaggio has the ball just fly straight ahead, and it looks like Brother Martin was going to recover, and they do.
So 3 seconds left, and you'd have to believe that Jesuit won't punt, that they'll just take the snap and run around a little while. But if you're going to do it, go straight backwards. Don't do what the Bengals did, run a sweep.
That's right.
Just take the snap and run backwards.
Well, I'll tell you,
Well, of course, that doesn't reflect the correct records of these teams. Jesuit, of course, is
That's the district
3-0. Brother Martin is 2-1. And now on 4th down, they are going to run a play with 3 seconds left. Let's watch Chanot. He just does do what I said. He goes straight back, running out of bounds and giving up the yardage as the half comes to a close. He gets drilled out of bounds as the half comes to a close here in the Superdome. And what a performance by the Blue Jays. At the half, Jesuit 25, Brother Martin 7. I'll be back to talk with Jesuit coach Frank Monica in just a few moments. Don't go away.
It's the ultimate NFL highlight show. Every Sunday, see the greatest action from every game played that day. More NFL highlights than ever before in one show. Join Chris Berman, Pete Axthelm, and Tom Jackson for NFL Prime Time. Sundays at 7 Eastern, only on ESPN.
The new Mississippi River Bridge. It'll solve a lot of traffic problems. But making way for it was a complex job for us at NOPSI. See, it's going right where we have power lines and major equipment serving the central business district. A lot of that's underground, but we know the system, its unique features. So we redesigned circuitry and relocated equipment. As far as our customers know, nothing's changed. Their service hasn't been interrupted once. It's my job to keep it that way. Your power company. Reliable service from capable people.
Halftime here in the Superdome. Jesuit and Brother Martin, good football game. And speaking of Jesuit, with me right now, the head coach of the Blue Jays, Frank Monica. First of all, Frank, congratulations on your first 3 victories of the season. A good start.
Thank you very much, Ken. They weren't very pretty victories, but we would take a victory whenever we can get one around here.
Obviously, you've gotten a lot done in your 3 years at Jesuit. You've been to the playoffs twice. Last year, you started off wonderfully, had a couple of injuries down the stretch, and things didn't end up the way you wanted to. And you're not thought to be one of the favorites this year, but you've got the kind of team that if things fall right, you can be there, can't you?
We have a scrappy little ball club, Ken. We're not very experienced, but right now I think that what we're trying to do is hold on until we can get some experience throughout this tough district. We're leading off, unfortunately, with 2 of the better ball clubs in the whole state, with Brother Martin and St. Aug our district play. Then we have Rummel, the Fowlers, and De La Salle, and so on down the line. So, you know, the first 2 weeks we could be completely out of it. But I think our kids, they want to really work hard. They want to win and succeed. And tonight's going to be an awfully big football game for us.
You look at District 11, Coach. You've coached at Lutcher. You've coached at Riverside. You've seen a lot of high school football, but this district every week is like a Super Bowl, isn't it?
It's a tremendous grind. It's not so much the competition, which everybody knows is really tough. It's the fact that you have to play on uneven nights. You have 6-day preparation weeks, 5-day preparation weeks because of the stadium rentals. We have to play on Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon. and couple that with the injuries and the physical attitude of this football of this league, it's awfully tough to compete.
One thing I know you're happy about at Jesuit, and that's the administration. You had Harry Thompson, now you've got Father Postel, and they've been totally cooperative, haven't they?
Exactly right, Ken. You know, they're pro-athletics and pro-football people. Father Postel came in and reassured us that our athletic program was not going to suffer any setbacks whatsoever and continue on with our program as is.
Academically, Jesuit couldn't be in better hands. Of course, they've never heard in that area, and as I understand it, 30 National Merit semifinalists this past year. That's a new record.
They had 31, Ken, to be exact, and we're proud to say 4 of those are our football players.
That's quite a feat. Coach, I have to ask you this question. Who do you like in district this year?
I think the team right here, right now, St. Aug is awfully good. In fact, if the Saints do strike and if Jim Moore would pick up this ball club here, no one would know the difference.
Well, Frank, you've done a heck of a job at Jesuit in 3 years. Best of luck this season, and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Ken.
Halftime here in the Superdome, and now let's go over to Manny Baracco with Coach Bob Conlon.
Thank you, Kenny. I'm with Bobby Conlon, head coach at Brother Martin High School. Bobby, 18 years at Brother Martin. You've seen a lot of changes in athletes and in the game of football.
Oh, yeah. We went to change the rules a whole lot just by going to the NCAA rule. It makes the game a lot longer, but I think it makes it a better game, too, man. As far as the athletes are concerned, they're a little bit more spread out than they were a few years back, you know, and the team's a little bit tough, and the district's a little bit more balanced than it had been, say, 10 years ago.
You've always been known to have an outstanding running game. Your wing bone works because of why?
Well, we try to make people cover the field. We got good running backs, and we do a lot of work on our running game. But we can throw the ball. I mean, a lot of people don't think we can, but the last couple of ball games that we played, we just never really had to throw that much. So there was no need to put it in the air. We didn't have to do it, you know. We would rather throw when we want to throw, not when people force us to.
Bobby, District 11 Quad A is going to be another tough one this year, and most people figure you guys to have a shot at it. Give us a rundown on the district and the type of chances you feel you have.
I think we have a good chance. The league is very balanced. You know, I mean, anybody can come out and beat you on any given day. So I think the league is going to be just like it has been for the last 5 or 6 years. And you just play every week, Manny, and you just hope, you know, what happens at the end, where you finish up. You might lose 1 or 2 down the line. You just got to get up, keep playing, and then what happens down the line. That's about where it comes down. The last ball game of the year, last few years, we got in the playoffs. Last year, we lost 2 ball games back-to-back, came back and played pretty well the next few ball games, and we wound up in the playoffs.
Coach, good luck to you the second half. Don't go away. We got a lot more high school football from the Superdome. We'll be right back.
That's what we do. Making parish public and education. That's what we do. Making parish public to the top. That's what we do. Getting parish public and education. That's what we do. Making parish public to the top. That's what we do. Getting education all the way to graduation. Get it now, it's how. Gibson Parish Public. That's what we do. Gibson Parish Public. That's what we do.
Ken Trahan along with Manny Baracco and George Ryan, the head coach of the Blue Raiders, who join us here for the second half of action. The Blue Jays on top of the Crusaders 25-7 in what can best be described as a splendid offensive effort for Jesuit in the first half, and the numbers reflect that, Manny.
It does, Kenny, and the Smith brothers have been an outstanding show today. Mark Smith, 9 carries, 82 yards. Mike Smith, 3 receptions for 26 yards. And Ricky Canova, who's been just all over the field, is 8 for 13, and that's why the score is 25-7. He's got 139 yards in the first half.
Brother Martin on the flip side with their terrific offensive backfield has been shut down completely. Chance Miller, 5 carries for just 11 yards. Errol Sanders with 6 carries for 15 yards, and Chad LaRose with just 2 carries for 5 yards. Scott Simpson is 2 for 5 through the air for 32 yards. And he's carried 3 times for 15 yards. Jesuit will kick it off to start the second half. And George, let me personally welcome to our telecast here for the second half of action.
Thank you. We just came back from Chalmette High School where Holy Cross was beating Chalmette 14-8 with 5 minutes left to go in the ball game. So this is kind of a surprise, the score right here.
Quite a night, an 11 quad A on the first weekend of the season as Greg Keller kicks it off for the Blue Jays. He hits it nicely. Chance Miller at the 6-yard line. Miller straight up the middle behind the wall, 20, 25, 27, possibly the 28-yard line before he's brought down on the play by number 85, and that is Chris Mazzui. And Brother Martin will start from their own 29-yard line, officially 1st and 10. And we'll set that Crusader offense for you once again. Tony Philistrat, the best offensive lineman. Louis Chevalier caught the touchdown pass earlier from Scott Simpson. Errol Sanders, Chance Miller, and Chad LaRose, an outstanding tandem, but they've been shut down thus far. Simpson in motion, LaRose. And the give and a fumble, and the Jays have it. First play of the half. Errol Sanders fumbles the football, and coming up with it from Jesuit is number 97, Everett Bonner, and that's his second fumble recovery, Manny.
I'll tell you what, it is the second fumble recovery. This one is probably more important than the last one because if there's any sting taken out of Brother Martin, that may have done it right there because here we are starting off. You know they had to be coming in pumped up in the second half, and right away, Jesuit's got the ball, and if their offense can pick up where they left off, there's no telling how many points they can score tonight.
Ricky Chenove back at the helm. He's been unstoppable thus far. Heyman to the right, Mike Smith to the left. The split backs behind Chenove are Mark Smith and Peter Calamari. On first down, the give to Mark Smith. Tries to cut inside, but he's brought down immediately near the line of scrimmage. Good penetration defensively for Brother Martin in the person of number 23, and that is Louis Deverott. The Jesuit offense now, Jeff Haven, the X-Man, Mike Smith, Mark Smith have been terrific. Andy Abramowitz, 70, the right tackle. If it sounds familiar, yes, he's Danny's son. Ricky Chenove has been brilliant. Peter Calamari, a fine fullback. A loss of 2 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 12 yards. Mark Smith now in the slot left. There's that trip set for the Jays. That's given Brother Martin fits again. Rolling that way as Chenove. Has time. Cuts it upfield. 30, 25, and that's all. So he gets past the original line of scrimmage to about the 25, a gain of 4 yards on the play, and it'll be third down and about 8 to go for the Blue Jays.
There's been some changes that's taken place at halftime, and they're a lot more aware of what Mr. Chenove can do right now for Brother Martin. Done a fine job of picking the receivers out. They know they've got to do that.
Brother Martin defensively, they've had some problems thus far this evening. Damaray, Braccato, Nicolosi, Diaz has been successful blitzing. Corso, Deverott, and Dixon in the secondary for the Crusaders. 3 receivers right. Chenove on third down wants to go deep, and he's got Mark Smith for 6. From 26 yards out, perfect throw from Ricky Chenove to that man, Mark Smith, and the Jays lead it 31-7.
Tell you what, he's got an outstanding touch, and Smith has an uncanny way to get open constantly.
What's going on here? They get in an eye set, a twin eye set, and they moving a tailback out, which gives them trips. That's spreading Martin's defense completely across the field. Martin's going man-to-man in a coverage we call 3-man, and they just running right past him. They're having a hard time covering man-to-man. And he just lays it up, let Smith run right up underneath it.
Trey Craig with the extra point attempt, and he drills it through. And with 10:31 to play third quarter, the Jesuit assault continues. Blue Jays 32, Crusaders 7. We'll be back right after this.
The best auto racing on television is on ESPN. The drama of bumper-to-bumper NASCAR competition. The speed of Formula One, leading to the World Driving Championship. exciting IndyCar showdowns and thrills from USAC, IMSA, and super-powered dragsters. ESPN's award-winning coverage takes you to 5 continents for the best live auto racing on television. The driving force in motorsports. ESPN.
10:31 to play, third quarter. The Jesuit Pom-Pom girls are quite happy. The Jays lead at 32-7. Jesuit has used the trip set a number of times here this evening, very successfully. George Ryan, you made a good point during the break.
What is happening here is that Coach Monica is smart. He knows that Martin's in a split 4, and what he's doing is spreading everybody out. You can see it on the replay where he's spreading everybody out, and then he's just sending one man right up the middle, and it's a man-to-man coverage, and he's just running right past us. And there it is, touchdown.
Perfect throw from Chanot. Back to live action. The kickoff by Keller to Chance Miller. 25 up to about the 29, and the Crusaders will try their luck from that point. With 10:25 to play, third quarter, and if you feel a sense of urgency up here about Brother Martin's chances, imagine how Bobby Conlon and his staff feel right now. And they have to be a bit in shock at this point. I don't think anyone expected this type of football game.
It's almost beyond a bit of shock. They've got to be completely floored right now.
Realistically speaking, coming in, if you had to pick a favorite, it would have been the Crusaders. The handoff to Chad LaRose running wide. Laterally across the 30 to about the 33-yard line goes LaRose in the arms of Mike Johnson, the weak linebacker and captain defensively. A gain of 4 yards for LaRose. It'll be 2nd and 6.
You know, when you're in a situation like this, you have to try and throw the ball or get some points on the board. But Brother Martin's passing game is non-existent. So, you know, what do? You try to stay on the ground and keep it on the ground, but you have to try and put it in the air and make something happen.
Simpson thus far 2 of 5 passing the football. The give to Errol Sanders, and Errol Sanders is stuffed by Keith Hill again. 73, the 5'10", 230-pound senior was Johnny on the spot. A gain of 1 yard for Sanders, and it's 3rd and 5. Errol Sanders has been held to 7 carries for 16 yards.
What you see here is that they're just coming around to give the belly. That's a belly, just keeping the ball. There's no room to run because Joe's got everybody on the line. They want Martin to throw the ball. They say, go ahead, throw the ball. We want you to throw it.
LaRose in motion. Simpson play fakes, rolls, throws, and it's tipped and incomplete. A fine play defensively by Matthew Coleman, the free safety. 6'1", 165 pounds and a senior, and the Crusaders go 3 and out, and they'll have to kick it away.
Simpson 2 of 6 for 32 yards. You just cannot help but want to just go out there and pat the Jesuit Blue Jays defense on the back. This has been, since the opening possession, that they have just done a whale of a job shutting this offensive attack out. That was awesome, averaging over 250 yards rushing a game, and they're not even close.
Well, that last play was just a simple keep pass, and safety come across and just knocked it away. That's all they did.
Eric Hill to punt, and he hits a good one. Mike Smith has to retreat way back to his 23-yard line. He's dangerous. 25, 30, 32, possibly the 33. Another good job by Mike Smith of fielding a punt and getting the Blue Jays good field position. Hasn't much mattered where they've had the ball. They have moved it from everywhere. First 2 possessions here this evening. They went 69 yards on the first possession, then fumbled twice, and they went 64 yards. So they've gone a long distance. And the Jays have racked up well over 300 yards already, and we've got 9:04 to play, third quarter.
Kenny, a lot of the credit, really, you look at the big guys right there with their backs to you. You can't help but admire the job they've done because they've given the quarterback time to throw, and they've opened up holes when they had to run.
This man under center has been absolutely brilliant. Ricky Chanot to Mark Smith. Smith has speed, 40, 42, 43-yard line, close to a first down. And I believe he got his first down before he was driven straight back. And you see how quickly Mark Smith hits the hole.
You can see what's happening here. Martin's so worried now about the passing game that Jesuit just spreading them out, and they just giving the ball right up to the tailback, right up through the middle. And they got everybody spread out across the field. That's what he's making them do.
A gain of 10 yards for Mark Smith and a first down. And Mark Smith has now got 90 yards rushing as he is approaching that 100-yard mark.
It's amazing when a passing game's working, how much it opens up everything.
I formation, and the handoff to Mark Smith. Big hole, 45-50, cuts across field, 45, and down to the 43-yard line goes Mark Smith. And he's over the 100-yard mark as he rambles for 14 yards and a first down.
All this is here is a counter. They look like they're going one way. They're coming back the other way. He cuts back. This young man's got great mobility. You can see the clutch. He's got great vision. He sees the hole and he goes for it.
Bad news for George Ryan. He's just a junior at 6'1", 175 pounds. DiMaggio replaces him at tailback. And Peter Massett is in at fullback. That's DiMaggio. 45, 40, 35, and another first down to the 33-yard line. And the Blue Jays are playing old-fashioned hardball and just pushing the Crusaders straight back.
This is the same exact play that they ran before. You can see the guards pulling and kicking out. And this is another young man. I've seen this young man play before. He's got great vision also. But again, Martin spread out, and it's just too difficult to stop everything. If they come back in, they're going to throw the ball.
George, you had a DiMaggio by the name of Jay DiMaggio at Rummel back in the late 70s. No relation, huh?
No relation at all. He was a great running back for us, too.
Terrific player. Diminutive.
DiMaggio has 28 yards rushing on the night.
All-out blitz. Crusaders in trouble. Chanot sacked at the 37-yard line. And give credit to number 42 defensively for Brother Martin, and that's Errol Sanders going both ways, doing a job there as Bobby Conlon makes some changes. The Brother Martin defense, and they have made changes. The particularly effective players have been Diaz, Corso, and in the secondary, Dixon for the Crusaders thus far, but they have had trouble containing the Blue Jay offense. A loss of 5 on the play for Chanot. It'll be 2nd and 15 from the 37. Heyman and Mike Smith to the left. Chanot barking signals. High formation behind him. Counter play DiMaggio. Big hole. 35, 30. And down to about the 27-yard line goes DiMaggio. That's a pickup of 11 more yards for DiMaggio.
You can see here that the Jesuit quarterback is checking off, and he's looking for where the safeties are going, and he's just running away from where all the people are, and they just keep running the same play, in the same hole.
How about those Johnny Unitas black shoes, Manny?
I like it. He runs fast in them. Usually you look slow in those things.
Unitas sure didn't run fast in them. Didn't have to. 3rd and 6 from the 27. The pitch. DiMaggio trying to get wide. Shakes one tackle. 30, 25, and close to a first down at about the 23-yard line. Looks to be about a half-yard short, but a good effort by DiMaggio to get to the corner. So he picks up 4 yards on the play.
What's happening here? Brother Martin, in desperation, is blitzing everybody in the inside. Jesuit catches him blitzing. DiMaggio makes a good move here on the end where he misses the tackle, and he's doing a good job getting the shoulders up the field and driving hard for the extra yard.
Jay's taking a lot of time here, and I think they'll have to take a timeout, and they do, with 6:19 to play, 32-7 Jesuit. Well, Manny, the trend continues. The Jays have just been dominant as we look at Frank Monica and Ricky Chanot.
They've got to be smiling under those helmets right now. And part of it is because they've had tremendous holes. The other young man who's come into the ballgame, DiMaggio, has done exactly anything and everything that Coach Monica has wanted him to do, and he's such an aggressive runner, and I don't know if it's just because he sticks out because of the high tops, but he's exciting to watch, and he's come in and he's taken over the ground game. And Kenny,
of course, at the conclusion of this one, we have a lot of candidates. Our front player of the game sponsored by D-Mac's 300 Pro Shop in Metairie on Chastain Street. Steve D-Mac providing the best of bowling supplies and trophies, and of course the front player of the game will receive a trophy courtesy of D-Mac's on Chastain Street. I know George Ryan would want me to mention that, of course, the D-Mac family were Rummel graduates, right?
You know what's interesting about this game? On this side of the field is total frustration. They're trying to figure out how to stop this game. On the other side, they elated. Anything works. Call anything. Everything goes, you know?
Everybody wants to be the offensive coordinator.
Power I formation, everyone tight on 4th down and 1, and they give us to Mark Smith. He's airborne, and he is close. We'll have to see where they mark it. Jesuit says they've got it. Boy, Mark Smith can really get high. It was amazing how high he got on the touchdown earlier. George didn't see that one, but he must have been about 25 feet in the air.
All they doing here, they had a power eye, and they shifted their strength from one side to the other, and they just getting every base blocking, getting everything in it. He's just leaping in the air. And it looks like he may... No, Martin's got it. First down, going the other way.
So no gain on the play for Mark Smith, and the Crusaders on a rare occasion stop this Blue Jay and his compatriots here, and the ball goes over on downs with 6:11 to play 3rd quarter.
The 6:11 you mentioned was probably more important than the points right now for Jesuit. They chewed up some more time on the clock, and they've got Brother Martin again in bad field position.
Mark Smith in the game now has 13 carries for 104 yards and 4 touchdowns. In motion is LaRose. He gets the pitch. Flags are down. Brother Martin was in motion illegally as LaRose goes across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. But again, those flags are down, and I think this will work against the Crusaders. Well, George, you open up, of course. By the time this telecast will be seen, the people will know the outcome of your game with LHSAA. A couple of Christian Brothers schools that are fighting it out, but your team has come on to win a couple of games in pre-district heading into district play, and I know you have to feel good about the progress you've seen.
Well, we started late, and we came along, we matured. The big thing we had to do, we had a lot of young players, and we do have a lot of young players. We had to give them a chance to mature. We talked to the older kids, and we said, look, you got to give us everything you have. And in these 3 preseason games, let our young people mature. And they come along real well. I know it's going to be tough this year because everybody I see, they got good defenses, good offenses, and it's going to be, the league is always tough, and it's going to continue being tough.
From the 18-yard line, first down and 15. Brother Martin Simpson on the fake, has time, looks over the middle and incomplete. Double covered on the play was Chance Miller. Number 1, Matthew Coleman, was closing quickly. And Manny, I know one thing, Jesuit certainly is prepared for anyone's passing game after having played Nichols a couple of weeks ago.
And you know, Kenny, I'm glad you pointed that out because they faced one of the best quarterbacks in the state. And I'm saying that now because I've seen him on a couple occasions, and he can do it all. And they edged out a 21-20 victory over Nichols and Mr. Williams. So they are ready, and I think it's a good point to be brought up, and they're handling the pass here tonight pretty well.
Second and 15 from the 18-yard line. They give us to Errol Sanders. He finds rare running room across the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Errol Sanders picking up 10 yards on the play. And it'll be third down at about 6.
What they're doing right now, Jesuit is just playing a real loose defense, and Brother Martin's taking advantage of it by just running straight dives. But if you look at Jesuit, all they're doing is playing a straight 50 front. Their linebackers are loose. Their secondary, they're playing what's called a cloud coverage, where they just read and rotate. And everything's loose and everything's just run to the ball. Don't give them any big plays.
And flags are down again. Martin moving. The throw is complete to the sideline for a first down, but I believe it'll be for naught as the pass was caught out there by number 6, Jeremy Short. And again, the flag on the Crusader backfield is going to bring this one back. You know, in the first half, Jesuit made a ton of mistakes, George. The Blue Jays had 8 penalties in the first half, along with 2 turnovers, but they overcame them.
I've got an interesting point to bring out here. Martin's offensive ground attack has been awesome this year. Sanders is averaging 152 yards a game. He has 26 yards tonight. Miller has averaged 113. He has 11 yards on the night. And LaRose has 9 yards on the night. So they've almost completely shut out one of the most devastating ground attacks in the city.
No doubt about that. I've seen Martin play this year prior to it. Nobody could stop him. It was just awesome.
And they weren't playing nobody. They were playing excellent football teams. On third down, Simpson wants to go deep, and the pass is going to be knocked away incomplete. Good technique there, intended for Chance Miller, and Todd Bourgeois, who realized he was beaten just a tad on the play, just jumped up and knocked it away wisely.
What they're doing here, they run their wing tee offense. This is waggle, solid, and he's trying to throw back to the back, coming out the backfield all the way outside. And the offense is just playing real loose. And again, I'm sure Coach Monica said, hey, don't give up the big play. Let them go short, let them drive, let them take their time. We got this one, under control. And, Brother Martin's pushing. They're forcing. They're trying to make things happen. And Joe's just sitting back saying, okay, do what you have to do.
Timeout taken by Brother Martin with 4:55 to play, third quarter. The Blue Jays on top of the Crusaders 32-7. And if you have any comments or questions about games covered by us here on Cox Cable Productions, all you have to do is contact our CEO, Rick Saznet at Cox Cable of Jefferson Parish, 338 Edwards Avenue, Harahan, Louisiana, 70123, or call 733-5680, extension 500. That's Rick Saznet at 733-5680, extension 500. Eric Held, who's had a busy day, is on the punt once again, and Mike Smith, that dangerous man, is in deep to return. Big rush. He gets it off and hits a nice kick. Mike Smith will have time, though, with a bunch of red shirts coming. 40, heads for the sidelines, doesn't get there as he spilled it about the 42-yard line by number 28, Kurt Nicolosi. And the Jays will have it again with 4:45 to play third quarter. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Parrington again sometime soon, Manny.
I think you're right. He probably will be coming in pretty soon. I think you'd like to see him get off to a better start this time. Kenny, the score's 32-7, and Jesuit is playing it like it's a close ball game. They're going in to block the punt and come close to doing it. There was 7 Crusaders down there on Mr. Smith on the punt return.
Chenove's still in there. What a game he's had. The running backs behind him are Calamari and DiMaggio. Twin receivers to the left, the wide side of the field, and the give to Calamari. And this time he has nowhere to go. Calamari back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all. And it'll be second down and 10 yards to go as number 70, Mark Dameray, the right tackle, was in on the stop.
Well, Brother Martin is almost to the point now where you don't want to say you got to panic and do something, but I mean, it's cut and dry. It's been too long of a game without anything happening offensively for them, so they've got to get the ball back, hope for a turnover here.
They've got to be feeling a little bit like Shaw felt earlier tonight at this point. On second down, they give to Calamari, and he is slammed down at the 44 as the Crusaders are shutting him down on this possession. This time a good job defensively by number 41, Steve Levert, a 180-pound junior linebacker for the Satyrs. A gain of 2 yards, and it'll be third down and 8 to go. That sums it up pretty well.
Coach Monica is just going to, whatever Brother Martin's going to give him, he's going to take. He's watching what's going on. He's getting different formations, and however they form, or how they match up with him, he's going to take advantage of it.
Of course, you got to execute, and they've done that extremely well tonight. Chenove to the sideline, and there it is again, close to a first down in Brother Martin territory. We'll have to see where they mark it. Chenove on the money, and there's Mike Smith with his 7th catch of the evening.
What you got here, he's sprinting out to the right side of the field, and they're running double outs. They take the wide man, and they run him down about 15 yards. This man that's inside, they run him out 10. That's a tough thing to cover. Very tough to cover because it forces you now to get 3 people over there to cover on 2. One of them's going to become open. And the thing is, when you throw the ball, it's either going to be a caught or it's not going to be caught. It's not going to be intercepted because you're throwing the ball towards the sidelines.
Well, we saw the bad news just a moment ago. Ricky Chenove injured on the turf back at about the 36-yard line. And boy, we certainly hope this isn't serious as the trainer, Scott Pavor, looks him over. You know, Jesuit, as we mentioned earlier, Manny pretty much went down the tubes when their quarterback, Jimmy Tragle, got hurt last year against Shaw. And Frank Monica's got to be holding his breath right now because this young man has been a terrific player as we look at one of George Ryan's old comrades in arms, Randy Johnson, on the Brother Martin sideline.
Well, I'm sure that Coach Johnson's in pain right now. Randy is a great football coach, and he's a real winner. And I know he's got to be in tremendous pain right now, trying to figure out now what do we do? You know, how do we move the ball? How do we score? Let's keep control of the ball. And I'm sure he's picking his brain apart, trying to figure out. Him and Al, you know, Al's upstairs trying to call plays, and I'll guarantee they're just talking away, saying, what do we do? What do we do?
Now, you saw Frank Monica trotting off the field, and I've got a feeling he's just having those cramps in his calves right now, just the way he's turned over on his back and letting the trainer massage his calves. But and I hope that's all it is. I'm sure Jesuit fans hope the same thing, Kenny. He's 10 for 15 of the night, 172 yards.
I think you're right, man, as he gets up and he'll walk off under his own power. And that's something that's very common playing here on this turf in the Superdome. These kids are not used to it, and it really, really can wear on your legs. I can remember doing a state championship game, Eric and Covington, here in the early 80s, and Covington had 11 players leave the field with cramps in that one football game. The game was won by Eric, by the way.
That's why when you play in here, you try to get some practice time, but you usually try to get it at the beginning of the week because of the leg problem.
Kelly Parrington is back in at quarterback on 4th and 1. The Jays are going to go for it. Power I formation. Smith shifts to the left side. DiMaggio, the tailback. Calamari, the fullback. The Crusaders move, and that's what Jesuit wanted.
That's just total frustration. You know, they're trying to make things happen, and they're frustrated. And poor kids are just in a state of, you know, we got to make something happen. We got to make something happen.
George, this is not a typical Brother Martin defensive football team. They've had not just great size, but great athletes for years now, and they don't seem to have that kind of size this year. But then again, it's hard to match the names like Stanton, Manuel, and Rink, et cetera, et cetera.
Now, they can run. You know, they always can run. They having a hard time running tonight, though.
Of course, Clapp, Enriquez, Jacobs, you can keep
they
going
have some
back.
great players.
On first down and 10, fumbling the football is Calamari. Did he get it back? I think he may have gotten back on the football very alertly, and he did. At about the 42-yard line, he'll end up picking up 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They just running the same play over again. You can see the trap where they're countering. He's cutting back. He's going to cut inside, and DiMaggio just lost the handle on it. It's the same play and over and over and over again, and Brother Martin's just having a hard time stopping it simply because they're giving him twins to one side. They're taking an inside linebacker and moving him out. They don't have anybody to stop him.
Handoff appear low, but that's what happens when you have a new quarterback in the game. Brother Martin showing an 8-man front now. Jesuit 2nd down and 8, 42-yard line, 2:48 to play, 3rd quarter. They pitch to Mark Smith, and he's got nowhere to go. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage at about the 44, and that's going to be a loss of 2 yards for Mark Smith, as Brother Martin was daring him to pass, and Mark Smith is limping just a bit.
You know, Smith's had a pretty good night tonight also, Ken. He's carried 14 times, and it brings his total now to 102 yards.
I'd say he's had a pretty good night. He's also had 4 touchdowns, including 2 touchdown receptions. Prime candidate for our player of the game as he trots off the field.
When you're hot, huh?
I'll tell you what, this kind of reminds you of Jesuit's first district game a year ago. We won't mention who that was against, nor will we mention the score. Was that 42, Manny, or was it 49?
I don't even know who the coach was there.
No, I don't know either. I'll tell you, that day they were hot. We kicked off to them. They fumbled. We got the ball on the 12-yard line. We ran one play down to the 8. The next play, we threw the ball. They knocked the ball out of our man's hand. They recovered and drove the ball 92 yards. And after that, it was all over with. Everything they did right, and everything we did wrong.
You know, and having watched Frank Monica's teams now, they've been fast starters since he's been at Jesuit.
He really
started off very fast every year. 3rd down and 15 yards to go after the too much time penalty at the 49, and Parrington will simply give it to DiMaggio. Cuts back, 45-40 across the 40 to about the 39. He picks up about 10 yards and nearly broke that one in. Well, he's a nice backup tailback. I mean, you don't lose a whole lot when Mark Smith leaves.
There's some confusion in the Brother Martin secondary. Just now, Jesuit lined up in a simple pro eye, and Brother Martin was running around trying to figure out who was on who. And, of course, all they did was run a lead, give it to DiMaggio, and he just picked the hole up and just cut it back inside.
Brother Martin band strikes up a tune, 1:09 counting. 4th down, Jesuit. They're taking a whole lot of time here, and I think they might just take a penalty and punt this thing on 4th and 7 to give their punter some room here. Now, the timeout's going to be called.
You know, DiMaggio's had over 53 yards tonight already. As you said, he's been a great alternate back in, and we have a punting unit coming on for the Blue Jays.
They took the too much time penalty, as we suspected, moving it back to the 46 and giving the punter, Paul Marchand, a chance. Boy, he's got a good leg. What a punt he hit earlier. Low snap, but he'll get it off in good shape, and this is a wobbly spiral. It's going to bounce at the 19. It's going to be very effective inside the 10, inside the 5, and let's see, I think it was touched around the 4, but another great job by Marchand. That's his 2nd punt down to inside the 5.
I tell you what, if they've got some scouts out tonight, I think they like him already.
I'll tell you, that was a smart punt. He got a little spin on it, just enough to let it bounce, and he hit it real perfect. And Martin Jesuit got down there and did a good job coming around the ball, making sure it didn't get in the end zone.
Crusaders will have to take this thing 95 yards. They're at their own 5-yard line with 49 seconds to play, 3rd quarter. Jesuit on top, 32-7. Earlier this evening, St. Aug 34-0 over Shaw.
Now that was a shocker.
No question. Simpson on the keeper up to about the 10, maybe the 11, picks up 5 or 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down, Brother Martin. A shocker not in the outcome, but in the margin of victory for St. Aug.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Oh, you know,
I know there were some people that thought Shaw would win that game. Manny and I discussed it prior to the game. I talked to a few earlier today, and I don't want to name their names. Some coaches in this district.
Well, I didn't think the game would come out like that. I figured the game would be a close ball game. Of course, we knew St. Aug was good, but we didn't know they were that good.
Now we know.
2nd and 4. Errol Sanders up to about the 14. Looks like he's about a yard short of his first down, so we'll give him 3, and it'll be 3rd down and 1 as the 3rd quarter ticks away. as Morris drags him down at about the 47-yard line. That's the first time I can recall a Crusader running back getting in the secondary, Manny.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is what we expected.
What's happening here is just a straight dive to the fullback. And again, Jesuit is playing real loose. That's the way they want the kids to play right now. And he broke through. He's doing a great job getting down the field. Safety from Jesuit did an outstanding job coming across, making a tackle.
On the option, Simpson pitches to LaRose. Just not much there. He might have had a yard. And that's all before he tumbles out of bounds under duress from number 27, Todd Bourgeois. A gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Sanders with 52 yards rushing tonight. Still way below his average, but that last play just shows you what he is capable of doing when he can get a little bit more blocking up front and maybe get past that original line of scrimmage.
Scoreboard tells the story, 11:05 and ticking. Rolling Simpson, plenty of time. Flat pass, and it's incomplete as he had his man out there open at about the 45-yard line, but simply unable to hold on for Brother Martin was Jeremy Short.
Now, that was a tough pass to catch, and it was a fine effort, but there's such a difference that is pretty obvious, I'm sure, to our viewers as well as it is here. The difference in the receiving from Smith to all the other receivers on the field. Smith has such good hands, and in fact, they could go for either Mark or Mike, but both of them are good receivers, and Mike has done an exceptional job catching in traffic.
Mike has great hands. Great jumping ability, good speed. Over the middle and incomplete as they try to slant in route. Intended there for number 16, John Horner. And the Satyrs come up empty, and it's punting time once again.
You know, though, Manny, when you've had so much success over the years running the ball as Martin has, with the execution that they've had over the years, they really didn't have to work that much on that passing game. And when they did throw a pass, they usually completed it because people weren't expecting. Well, now, like tonight, they're being shut down and trying to go to something that they've never really worked that hard on, and it's difficult.
Back to punt is Eric Held, and the Smiths are deep again. End over end kick this time. Fair catch call for Mike Smith makes it at the 21-yard line. And the Jays will take over at that point with 10:50 to play, leading 32-7. Of course, we'll have another great game for you next week. At this broadcast time, that game was undetermined. But we promise you we'll have an outstanding district tilt from one of our fine districts around the area here in New Orleans as we are contemplating what game that will be at this time. And of course, we promise you we'll get to see some more great teams in the future. Especially we'll get to see the St. Augustine Purple Knights. We'll get to see the West Jefferson Buccaneers that you haven't seen yet, both ranked in the top 5 in the state, and many more. From the 21-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go. Chanot to the first man through, breaking a tackle and getting up to about the 24-yard line. On the slant is Peter Calamari. Calamari for 3 yards, and it'll be second down and 7 yards to go.
I see Coach Johnson out there talking to his offense, and I know he's telling them, he's encouraging them. Come on, fellas, what we got to do, we got to control the ball, got to take our time with it, we got to drive it down, let's get the score, let's make something happen. And I'm sure this comes to a point of not getting them frustrated. Take your time. Let's just move the ball up the field.
Heyman and Smith are wide left, I formation behind Chanot. On second down, he gives it to the second man, Smith, and he used that cutting ability again to get it across the 25 to about the 27 to pick up a 3 for Mark Smith. And it'll be third down at about 5.
And they keep the clock running, staying with the ball on the ground right now. You know, looking around at the Superdome, and it's got an outstanding crowd tonight. I think the LHSAA should be proud of what District 11 has brought into the Superdome, but I really got to admire what the folks from Gatorade has done too. They've played an important part in getting the teams here and in supporting Louisiana High School Athletic Association.
From the 27-yard line, third down and 4 Blue Jays, and they may have taken too much time again, and this will be the 11th penalty on Jesuit. George, you spotted something else.
Looked like they may have it. I thought Brother Martin was offside. It looked like they jumped, and it might be wrong. No, the Jays moved.
Illegal procedure, Jesuit. Here we are in the press box. Kenny Trahan, Manny Baracco to my right, George Ryan to my left. You're supposed to wave, George, but that's okay. You're late now. Forget it, okay? Shelby, you didn't wave either, all right? Shelby's getting a lot of airtime here this evening. She doesn't even know it. So the 5-yard penalty moves it back to the 22-yard line where it's third down and 9, and now Ricky Chanot calls timeout with 9:15 to play, and they just want to make sure they get things straight. Jesuit will have 1 timeout remaining as we look at the Brother Martin's side of the field. Well, Manny, you have to be really impressed with what you've seen of Jesuit here this evening.
I am. In fact, we said it earlier, you're almost in awe of them. They're not the physical type team that you saw the Purple Knights prior to this game, or that we saw, but they are a team that can execute. They've got a wide open offense, and I think the thing that has been as impressive as their offense tonight has been their preparation and getting ready to play this team defensively. Chanove runs onto the field. Defensively have been awesome. Again, there's your top 10.
Yeah, let's look at it again real carefully, because we might have a team or two that we've seen tonight making some moves. We saw St. August's number 4. Well, they can't be any lower than that. This team on the field right now in the blue and white has to be strongly considered for that bunch the way they played tonight and with their record, which will be 4-0. Third down and 9 from the 22 on a draw play. DiMaggio across the 25 to about the 27. Picks up 5 yards, but not enough for the first down, and the Jays will have to punt. That was Calamari, number 34. Not DiMaggio. Calamari for 5, and a rare punt upcoming for the Blue Jays.
The one thing the Blue Jays can feel comfortable with right now is Calamari's got 18 yards on the night rushing. They can feel comfortable with taking the ball and running 3 plays and then punting.
Marchand, a fine punter, and he hits another good one. Marchand drives. LaRose back to the 32. Trying to get outside. Gets a great block, but he falls down at about the 37-yard line. It was sandwich time down there for number 37 of the Blue Jays, Scott Manes. He felt the wrath of 2 Crusaders who vented their frustrations. And the Crusaders will have the football at the 37-yard line. Of course, Brother Martin, this is not a true indication of what kind of football team they have. Same thing with Shaw earlier tonight. Both of these teams will not only be back, but they'll be major factors in 11 Quad A.
Yeah, one game a season. We know that in 11 Quad A. Some teams will win it with 2 losses or 3 losses, and I think that's what's going to happen this year. I think the league's going to be topsy-turvy.
From the 37-yard line, first down and 10. Play fake by Simpsons. He wants to go deep, airs it, and it is going to be almost intercepted. A nice effort down there. The pass intended for LaRose out of the backfield, and it was broken up back there by number 27, Todd Bourgeois, who did a fine job.
What's happening here? They just diving, faking, trying to pull everybody in, but it's not going to work because Bourgeois is way back. He's just floating back, and he does a great job. It would take a tremendous sprinter to sprint past the Jesuit secondary right now because they all playing back. They're not going to give up the big play. They're just not going to do it.
It happened against Nichols, Manny.
That ball was thrown 50 yards in the air.
Second down and 10, and here's Sanders has running room across the 40 to the 43-yard line. A gain of 6 for Errol Sanders. It's 3rd and 4. Of course, when you got guys like Gerard Carey and Brian Thomas, they're going to run by a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. They'll definitely run past everybody.
Well, I tell you, those 2 guys, you talk about college prospects.
They complement each other very well, as we saw earlier in the year.
Well, Leonard Williams might be just 5'8", but, boy, he plays a lot bigger. What a passer. And getting his first down is Simpson across the 45 to about the 48-yard line. Simpson for 5. And the clock continues to tick at 7:54 here and counting in the Superdome.
But it's all that Coach Monica wants. Let Brother Martin run the ball. We'll play soft. We'll let the clock run down. We don't want to get anybody hurt. And I'm sure that's what's on his mind right now. Nobody get hurt.
Manning, you mentioned Gatorade. Boy, I mean, they make this a possibility price-wise to get in here and play these games.
Yeah, it's only costing the schools, if I'm not mistaken, about $1,000. And it costs a lot more than that to get here.
Simpson wants to go over the middle, and he just finds the turf as he had a couple of receivers in the vicinity. He looked like he was looking for John Horner. He's amused.
We got a phone call earlier this week, and they were interested in trying to sponsor our game with Holy Cross next week and try to get another 2 Catholic student games in here. And that's what they told us. It would be $1,000, but at the last minute, Holy Cross decided that they didn't want to play us in a dome. They'd rather have us at City Park.
You know, and you look around and you see this facility and how big it is, and this thing gets filled up. It is just amazing.
I like playing here. I think it's great. It's a great place to play.
From the 49 on second down, and nowhere to go. There is Mr. Hill, Keith Hill, along with Everett Bonner, who's been outstanding defensively as he slams down the ball carrier, Errol Sanders. No gain on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
You can see the little bickering that's going on now. The kids are really just totally frustrated. And the tempers are getting up a little bit. The tempers getting flared. Jesuits having a great time. They're playing some other kids, and everybody's enjoying themselves. The Brother Martin kids are really just so upset with themselves right now. They don't know what to do.
From the 49-yard line, Simpson trying to get outside, falls and throws in an incomplete pass intended for Chance Miller. Would have been well short of the first down as Scott Manis was out there, the strong safety. Jesuit seemingly has all options covered of this Brother Martin offense. The Jesuit is a well-prepared football team tonight.
They have been, and there's no doubt there's been many hours that's spent watching the videotapes and the film, and coaches rehashing with their particular specialties with their players as to, you know, what you have to read and look for, and evidently it couldn't have been done much better because Brother Martin is not a 7-point team.
Mike and Mark Smith deep again to receive the punt from Held, and a bad snap, and the turf, he picks it up and gets it off. It's high and wobbly and somewhat short. Let's watch the bounce. Takes a Martin bounce down about the 22-yard line, so a good job by Eric Held of coming up with a football and getting off an effective punt. Now with 6:31 to play, the Jays will probably make some changes.
Talk about preparation. I know both of these coaches real well. I know that Brother Martin goes through a tremendous preparation too. It's a crazy situation like we were talking about with us last year with the Jesuit Rummel game. Things can get out of hand. It happened the year before when we played them. It got out of hand and everything went right for us and everything went wrong for them. Last year is just the opposite. It's something you work hours and hours and hours on, and all of a sudden you got 15, 16, 17-year-old young men all ready to go, and things fall apart on you sometimes.
And Parrington is back in at quarterback with I-backs behind him on first down and 10, and the give is to Mark Smith. Smith straight ahead to the 35 and then driven back. Gain of about 3 yards on the play for Mark Smith as he adds to his total. He's now got 108 yards on the evening on 16 carries, and he's taking some time getting up. He had cramps earlier, and he's slow to get up again. And
I think he's having trouble with that ankle.
Could well be.
All they're doing here is they just kind of control the ball. They're leading the back up. They're base blocking, and they're trying to protect him from carrying the ball. Don't get him hurt. You can see right there. See him pushing off that leg right there, and he gets it caught up underneath him. See it right there? He was hurting on that leg before. When he got hurt, he was hobbling around a little bit, and I think, well, it's back again, same problem.
I got a feeling if he comes out, you will not see him in again. He is too valuable of a player to be in a ball game after this particular possession here.
Well, I think that they would take him out. Now, DiMaggio has carried the ball several times, and he put it on the ground, I think, twice, if I'm not mistaken.
And, of course, at the conclusion of this one, we'll pick our Player of the Week, sponsored by D-Max 300 Pro Shop on Chastan Street in Metairie. D-Max will present a trophy on behalf of Cox Cable to our Player of the Game. And, of course, at the conclusion of this game, Manny and George and I will hopefully get the Player of the Game as well as the victorious coach right afterwards. So don't go away. As soon as this one's over, we'll be down on the field and obviously talking with Frank Monica and whoever else. We have a tough decision to make there. Well, it's hard.
You can see Frank leaning over his player right now. I know that's the biggest concern. We talked about that just a few minutes ago. I know if I was standing on that side of the field, that's what I would be concerned with. I hope to God my good players don't get hurt at this point.
Wonder what he's thinking about at this point.
He's probably a little dejected also.
I think he'll get over it. As Mark Smith walks off the field under his own power, he's a good back. And boy, Manny, we've been lucky to see some good backs in our telecast. Bobby Edler last week was super. Todd Gardner for Abramson. Also Carl Hammock for East Jefferson, a terrific player.
More to come, too.
Yes, indeed. Second down and 7 from the 25-yard line. And the give is to DiMaggio, and he finds a hole. 35, 36, 37-yard line for DiMaggio and a first down. A gain of 11 yards officially for DiMaggio, and he's been an impressive player.
Again, you can see the Jesuit quarterback checking off. This is a trap, a counter trap. You can see the end come back in and seal off, and he's just running up ahead, protecting the ball now. And I think that's what they have to do, just keep giving the ball to DiMaggio at this point right now, keeping out all their starters. Get them out of there, just go ahead and ground it out and run the clock down.
Well, we've talked about the Jesuit skill players players all night long, but really the guys that have made it go, the offensive line, which has done a fabulous job all evening long. And even as I speak, DiMaggio gets hit in the backfield. Happens every time. Flag down on a play. But Manny, talk about some of those players and the jobs they've done here this season.
They have done a fine job. They're pretty big up front on the left side. Mike Dowling, 6 foot 250, he's a senior. Paul Leonard, 6'2", 220, he's a senior. Chad Poche, 5'11", 180, he's a senior. Paul Kritzer, 5'10", 210, he's a senior. Andy Abramowitz, 6'1", 215, he's a junior. They've got a very experienced line, and I think it's obvious why their offense worked tonight.
They've also got good blocking tight ends, and Paul Marchand and Greg Keller, both at 6'4" and about 220.
You know, I know you two have been watching 11 Quad A for a long time, and I've been coaching, and this is my 17th year. What's amazing about this is that when we started coaching, all the best players were on defense, and the games were like 3-0, you know, 6-7. There's no more of that. The past 4 or 5 years, games wide open, 32, 42. The score is outrageous.
We saw St. Aug loaded up with offense earlier tonight. They had all their bigger players on offense as opposed to defenses. DiMaggio breaks into the secondary across midfield into Martin territory to about the 48-yard line, and DiMaggio picks up 11 yards.
Again, it's the same play. They're faking a dive to one side, countering back to the other side. And look at the blocking up there by 88. That's the tight end. He's just coming in and sealing everything off.
He's been very impressive. He's got 75 yards on the night. DiMaggio coming in as an off-speed runner, so to say, just coming in spot playing.
Yeah, I'd just let him in. Just keep giving him the ball. Let him have a little fun.
From the 47-yard line in Crusader territory, 1st and 10, and the give is to the first man through. And that's the fullback, number 47, Peter Massett, and we've seen some of tonight. He's 5'9", 195 pounds, and a junior. Clock ticking, 4:10 to play.
You know, one thing about high school athletics and competition in general, it can be a very humbling experience. And sometimes it's one of the best things that can happen to you when you're flying high and you're a little cocky and feeling real good about yourself. See, Jesuits got to feel good about themselves, but it can happen to them too. It's so hard to stay up week after week.
Well, in the league, in 11 Quad A, what you have to do is if you lose, you tell the kids, well, hey, we want you to feel a loss. We want you to hurt. But then you got to come back the next day and say, okay, now you forget about all that. Now we got to go on to next week. You can't do that.
DiMaggio for no gain, one of the prettier sights here this evening, and there's always another week, and there's always tonight after the game. There's always tomorrow night. Well, it's nice to be young. It's nice to be young, I tell you what.
You know, it's the same thing with winning. You say, hey, we had a great time tonight. We enjoyed it. All right, now we got to get ready for the next one.
Nothing ever lasts except for the last win of the season. You always hope that's your last game, and you always hope that game occurs after the regular season.
That's right. Oh, yeah, that would be great.
That happens to very few teams, however. George, you've been involved with a couple of teams that have been that far, semifinal teams at Rummel. Look at one of our fine technicians, Mike, waving to everybody. Hey, great to see you, guy. He's got one of those Bob Uecker seats.
There's another penalty on Jesuit, and I think after the game he'll say this is something we can live with, we got to improve on.
Yes.
When you win, you can live with it.
Well, there's no question that that's something they've got to work on, because they've executed brilliantly here this evening, but against perhaps a better defensive football team than we've seen Brother Martin play this evening. Jesuit is not going to get away with 13 penalties. A gain on the play of 7 yards, and it'll be 4th down for Jesuit. DiMaggio with the carry, and now Marchand will punt it away again, and boy, he's a weapon. Kicking game plays a big role. In a lot of games, Brother Martin coming, but they won't get there, and Marchand, end-over-end kick, fair catch called for, and another kick inside the 10 by Marchand as he continues to do a fine job. Well, you talk about kicking games playing a big role, and one of the teams in District 11 that has perhaps the best kicking game in the state is De La Salle. They've got great punting and great place kicking.
Oh, without a doubt. We watched them on film. We've seen them twice, and their kicking game is marvelous. They do a great job. And we tell the kids all the time that, you know, you got offense is 1/3, defense is 1/3, and the kicking game is 1/3. And obviously the De La Salle kids really believe in the kicking game, and they're really enthusiastic about it. They really take a lot of pride in it.
On 1st down, the dive man, Errol Sanders, maybe a yard, and that's all. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Field position has been very important tonight, and Brother Martin has not seen very much of good field position the whole night. Most of their drives have started back real deep, and Kenny just referred to the 3 punts that have been inside the 10-yard line, and that's just the start of it.
And again, straight up is Sanders, and he breaks it for first down yardage up to about the 24-yard line. A gain of 13 yards for Errol Sanders. And Brother Martin comes up with a first down with exactly 2 minutes to play. Crusaders will fall at 2-2 overall, 0-1 in the district. Jays will go to 4-0 and 1-0 off on the right foot. And what a game it sets up for Jesuit next week against those Purple Knights of St. Augustine. On first down, a fumbled football. Let's see who's got it. I believe Sanders on the carry, and the Jays are saying they've got it. Let's wait for the officials to rule, and yes, Jesuit has it.
Like I said before, when it all goes for you, it all goes for you. When it doesn't, everything goes bad. It's just a simple dive play, the same play they've been running all night. He gets the ball up in it. He's got it tight, but the Jays are hitting. You can see 4 or 5 people. Look at the white shirts all over. And he comes down, the ball gets loose, and they get after it.
Jesuit takes over at the Brother Martin 28-yard line with 1:41 to play.
And there's a lot of white shirts in there, brand new white shirts. Frank Monica says, "Okay, fellas, let's go. We all have a little fun."
Yeah, have a little fun now. We're winning 32-7.
Yeah, let's go.
Keep the ball, though.
First down and 10 from the 28-yard line. And they give us to DiMaggio, has room, and he's got speed. 25-20, gets a block downfield. 15-10, if he stays in bound, he's in. He's touchdown. DiMaggio, 28 yards for a score as he approaches 100 yards, and the Jays lead it 38-7.
He's over 100 yards now.
Great blocking at the point of attack for Jesuit.
It's what happens here. Brother Martin, again, is blitzing everybody to the inside. They run a simple sweep. When they dive, they don't even pull anybody. They base block on that side, and the split end to the weak side does a great job stalk blocking the safety down the field. DiMaggio reads it well, takes it to the outside, and he's in.
Trey Craig with the extra point. And with 1:34 to play, the Jays pad their lead to 39-7 on a 28-yard run by Keith DiMaggio.
And you know, they're not trying to run up a score. They're just executing extremely well.
No, they've caught Martin twice. The last time they scored down here, Martin blitzed inside, sending everybody. And that's normal, because what you're trying to do, what Martin's trying to do, is get the ball back. They're trying to make Jesuit fumble the ball. And, of course, when everything works, it works. That's just the bottom line tonight. And everything's working for Jesuit.
So with 1:34 to play, Jesuit 39-7 over Brother Martin. And Greg Keller will kick it off. And DiMaggio showed the speed to get outside.
You can see how Martin, everybody's coming in. You see the linebackers and all got caught in. Now watch him reading the stalk block. See the block right there on 37? He did a great job taking it back to the outside. Great effort.
Minute 34 to play. Miller and LaRose are deep, and this kick is coming up a little short. Will be fielded at the 20-yard line by LaRose. 25, 30, 35, 36-yard line. Crusaders ball at that point. First down and 10 yards to go. Oh, Coach, we've played one week of district play now after tonight and tomorrow with your game against De La Salle. Coming in this season, how did you like the district? How did you see it?
I felt that St. Aug would probably be the best team in our district, and that everybody else would fall second, third. I think it's going to be interesting. I just think that things are going to happen. It's going to, let me say this. I think St. Aug is beatable. I think anybody in our district is beatable. The question is who's going to beat who and what's going to happen. You got injuries.
11-yard completion from Simpson to LaRose, one of the rare completions we've seen since early in the game. He pump fakes.
What they did here, they dove inside, and the split end squared in. He's just reading the linebackers, and they're just trying to get him the ball.
And they get to the fullback. Sanders breaks the tackle, fights hard. He hasn't quit yet, and he gets it in the Blue Jay territory to about the 42. 11 yards for Errol Sanders. And another first down and 58 seconds left to play in this one. And Manny, I know we'll have another good game next week. We haven't determined that as of yet, but they'll all be good from now on with district play having started.
I think so. There's more of a touch of excitement added to a district game. It's always of some importance, and especially when we pick the games in that manner. Sanders has 83 yards now.
Rolling and being dragged down from behind is Simpson by number 93, Billy Stouter, a sophomore getting some playing time, and he has to be excited about that. Clock ticking, 30 seconds to go.
That's what you want to do. Get those young kids in there and let them go ahead and play. Look at them. They're all fired up right now. They run into the line. Come on, run one more play. Let me get a tackle. Let me have fun.
Be a long drive home tonight, although it's not that far down the street.
Simpson rolling, looking deep down the sideline, and incomplete. Hit him in the hands, but he couldn't hold on as the pass was intended out there for number 83, Joe Graffignini, a 175-pound senior. 12 seconds to go. You know, George, I've had fun tonight reminiscing about Rummel a little bit, talking about that. We got to let Manny Baracco have some fun, and I know he's got to be quite proud of a job that Skip Golding has done thus far this year at Bonneville.
He has. Skip Golding came into Bonneville from Hammond. In the last 3 years, Bonneville has struggled. Probably since the Willie Hoff days at Bonneville, the program has had to struggle, and he's picked up as many wins this year as they have in the past two, and if he picks up another one, which potentially they're looking at maybe a 500 season. Skip has done a fine job organization at the school and getting some kids excited. He's got a good young staff behind him, and I think that really gets the ball rolling for your school. You get somebody that's got a lot of enthusiasm, and he does have a young staff that really gels together as a group, not just outstanding football coaches, but they're all willing to learn.
I think the one thing with Bonneville is once when they get that pride and that spirit, you know, of hey, look, we can win, and we can do this, and we can compete against these teams, and I think that's what you need. And obviously he's doing that.
That's the talk around school right now. We got a shot at this team. We can beat this team. You know?
George, I got another question for you. You guys have been playing the Hammonds and Ponchatoula's and South Terrebonnes the past few years. Now with the public school resurgence to a degree on the east bank of Jefferson Parish, is there any possibility that Rummel would renew rivalries with schools like East Jeff and Bonneville?
We tried to do it this year. We were really interested. I went and I talked to Billy Cimento at East Jefferson. I talked to Jay Schwander at Grace King. We talked to several people. I think that within the next couple of years we're going to be able to do that. I really do.
I think
I would like to see that.
I think it's good for high school football.
Yeah. I don't like going, you know, why should we have to go all the way across the lake to play, 13 in Quad A? I think if we can keep the thing right there in our backyard, play it. It's, you know, Rummel's a Catholic community school. Bonneville is a public community school. I think we can draw the people in. And we're all looking for money. And I think we can get the people in Jefferson Parish interested in coming to see those games. I really do.
I don't think there's any question, and I think it's something that should be explored. And
definitely be a good draw.
Oh, definitely.
Glad to hear that it is being looked into. Oh, I remember Mike Miley rallying an East Jefferson team from way down in the fourth quarter, scored some 20-some-odd points in the fourth quarter to beat a Rummel team way back when. I saw that game, yes. And I also remember games with East Jefferson players that were good athletes like Hollanders and Wetzels and Franzes and people of that nature. And
well, in the latter part of the years, right before we stopped, the games were really close. I mean, the games were 6-7 and 14-7, and I remember we played Bonneville right here in the Dome, you know, in a playoff game, and it was a real close ball game.
Speaking of games, this one is in the record book, and the Jesuit Blue Jays have whipped the Brother Martin Crusaders by the score of 39-7. A sterling effort by Jesuit on both sides of the football, and they have proved tonight to be a team and forced to be reckoned with in 11 Quad A and throughout the metro area as the two coaches shake hands, Bob Conlon and Frank Monica. A splendid effort indeed by the Blue Jays overall, Manny.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've got to be impressed with the Blue Jays' performance tonight. And that man right there, Frank Monica, has got to be some proud of those guys with the blue helmets on, because I think he got as much out of this unit tonight than a coach can ask out of his ball club. Special teams were good. The interior line did a great job of blocking and passing. You look at the scoreboard, 39 points in high school football against a good football team is very hard to do. And then to hold down a powerhouse offense that's averaged over 32 points a game and hold them down to 7. And then you look at number 32, Mark Smith, the player of the week, D-Max 300 Pro Shop, prep player of the week. Mark Smith, number 32, had just a whale of a night. DiMaggio had over 100 yards. He had over 100 yards rushing. He had 4 touchdowns. So, I mean, you can't X any more than that. Quarterback had an outstanding night for Jesuit.
Ricky Chenob. Mark Smith finished with 16 carries for 108 yards. He caught 3 touchdown passes, rushed for another one. He's our D-Max 300 Pro Shop Player of the Game, and we hope to be talking with him in just a moment. So we'll take a break right here, and we'll tell you Jesuit a winner, 39-7 over Brother Martin. Don't go away. We'll be back with our closing in just a moment.
The new Mississippi River Bridge. It'll solve a lot of traffic problems. But making way for it was a complex job for us at NOPSI. See, it's going right where we have power lines and major equipment serving the central business district. A lot of that's underground, but we know the system, its unique features. So we redesigned circuitry and relocated equipment. As far as our customers know, nothing's changed. Their service hasn't been interrupted once. It's my job to keep it that way. Your power company. Reliable service from capable people.
Our final score once again, the Jesuit Blue Jays defeating the Brother Martin Crusaders 39-7. With me right now is our D-Max 300 Pro Shop Player of the Game, Mark Smith. And Mark, congratulations on a super performance.
Thank you. Well, the thing we focused on mostly through the week was team unity and not look for individualism. And we focused on that, so I think we came out and expressed it real well. We stuck together. The offensive line I must give a lot of credit to, and the quarterback, Ricky Chanot, who had an excellent game also. So it's we stuck together on this one.
Now, you guys obviously had a good game plan and executed it very well. You had 109 yards rushing. You caught 3 touchdown passes, ran for another. A good game plan, but you guys made it work.
Yeah, just like I said, just had to stick together, and that's what we focused on all through the week. Just coming out and getting on top of them early was the main thing, you know. And once we got that first touchdown, I think our intensity level increased, and we just went up and kept capitalizing on them.
What's it like playing with your brother, and one play in particular, he threw a nice block for you to clear you downfield. It has to be a nice feeling to share this with your brother.
Yeah, I love it, and I love my brother so much, and, you know, I wish I could go on to college and play with him, too, but it's all in time, too.
Well, he's a year ahead of you. Let him go first, and you can follow him, okay? Yeah. Easy way to do it, huh? Obviously, a great start for the Jays.
Yeah, it is. We just got to come back. We've got a tough opponent, St. Aug, next week. We're going to have to practice real hard. It's going to be a long week, and just got to come out and do the same thing we did here tonight.
Ricky Chanot, he's really maturing as a quarterback, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Coming off from the baseball season, he came out and he's been doing real well. You know, glad to have him back.
Well, Mark, the Blue Jays were certainly glad to have you this evening. A superlative performance, and for that performance, you're our D-Max 300 Prep Player of the Week. You'll receive a trophy courtesy of D-Max 300 Pro Shop in Metairie. Congratulations on a great effort again. You're 4-0, and best of luck to the Blue Jays throughout 1987.
Okay.
Mark Smith, our Prep Player of the Game. We're going to ask Frank Monica to come on over now. Manny, George, come on in, too. Coach, first of all, congratulations on a superlative effort. I know you couldn't possibly have conceived of this score before this one started.
Kenny, I'd have been satisfied if somebody would tell me I'd give you a half a point win and go home, I'd have gone. I'm totally elated. Just the fact that we won, and a good Brother Martin team. They'll be back. They're a very physical football team. They gave us a bunch of bumps and bruises tonight, and they're hard to prepare for. Jesus, I mean, they drive you crazy preparing for them, both offensively and defensively. But I must take my hat off to my football staff. I thought they did a great job preparing our defense for their offense, and I also must say that our offense did extremely well. Ricky Chanot and this guy right behind me, Mark Smith, they really came to play tonight along with the whole offensive line and the defense.
You talk about preparation and giving people headaches. You came out with a trip set formation early in the game, and you just spread them all over the field, and they just got bad matchups and couldn't cover your people.
Well, I think the difference is Ricky Chanot is now coming into his own. He was a baseball player, got to us late. First couple ball games, he was a little rusty, and now he's getting more and more confident as the season goes on. He's not a very tall kid, but he's got so much savvy. He knows what to do. He doesn't make bad decisions, and he's getting better, and I think he's important for our offense. On the other end of that spectrum, you know, I still believe, even though I've been offensive coach for years, I still believe in good defense, and they set the tone for us. When you have a good defensive ball club, you can gamble, you can do a lot of things that you wouldn't ordinarily do if you did not have one. You know, I didn't say it, someone more intelligent than I did say that in order to prevent from losing, you have to have a good defense. In order to win, you have to have a good offense. And I think great defensive football teams win championships.
They're a triumvirate of running backs, superlative running backs that Brother Martin has. No one but Sal Pafouche had any success stopping these guys, and you guys just completely shut them down.
We feel very fortunate about that. Again, I must go back to the defensive coaching staff. They worked extremely hard. They would really dig into the film and finding answers, and I really take my hat off to them. In fact, I told them before the ball game, I said, Ben, you guys have done everything. I've never seen the staff work so hard for one particular ball game. as you did for this one. And I said, regardless what happens, I want to commend you for that effort.
Manny, I know you were impressed, too, with Frank here this evening, and I know you'd like to throw in a word or two to this successful coach.
Yeah, Frank, there's no doubt your team needs to be complimented on what they do, and I know we talked about some top players, Chenov and Smith brothers had an outstanding game, but I think you may want to speak about just the overall team effort. Your offensive line did an outstanding job tonight.
Yes, Manny, we're very pleased with them. You know, we had been on their case a little bit in the last couple of weeks because we thought that we were having some missed assignments in there that were preventing us from having big plays. And tonight I think they picked up some blitzes very well, and we were able to get some big plays out of it. But we told the kids that in order to beat Brother Martin, you don't beat them with just offense or defense. You have to beat them with a solid kicking game with no mistakes. And when the kicking game does not become very prevalent and it's not noticeable to the fans and everyone, you know you've done a good job. If it's noticeable, like you get turnovers or whatever, then you know you have not done a very good job. But the special teams did an excellent job tonight. Defense, needless to say, and the offense. But again, it's the entire football team.
Our guest analyst here this evening, George Ryan, he had to play you first in district last year, and I know after watching you tonight, he's glad he didn't have to play you first here.
I'm very glad we didn't have to play. Frank and I are good friends, and I think the world of him. I think he's a great, great coach. I just find that the offenses, Frankie, are really coming on now in the past couple of years. The head coach is becoming more offensive-minded, and it really has changed the face of 11 Quad A. Do you feel that way?
Yes, I do. When we first got into 11 Quad A, there were many people running wing T. And I really believe the wing T is a heck of an offense. I think the wing T is awfully hard to prepare for, hard to stop. You need to work overtime to be able to do that. And I don't like to go against it. And in fact, if someone told me to run the wing T and said you could not run any other offense, I would love that. Because that way I'd have to settle down and run one offense. Because, you know, our offense is a smorgasbord. I mean, whatever you come up with, you pick something out of the hat, and that's what you call. But the wing T is an excellent offense. But going back to the district, I think the district is so competitive. And as I stated before, prior to the ball game, it's not only the competition in the district, it's the off weeks that you have to have, the 5-day preparations, then the 7-day preparations, then the 9-day, and all of a sudden, and every week you line up against an opponent that can beat anyone in the state.
Going back to Martin, don't you feel a key in beating them, as you said, is playing well because they do prepare so well, but also putting them in a situation where they have to throw the ball? I think that's a big factor, don't you?
We knew tonight that the kid had made real good decisions, and we were going to make him run the football on the option, and we were going to try to force him to throw if we could shut down their backs. The most important for us was that our defensive line, we told them all week they could not get blown off the football. We thought that was an integral part of the entire defensive game plan, and that the secondary was just going to cover the best we possibly could, and the linebackers were going to take care of the front. The ends were going to run and prevent that down block, whatever. But basically, everything went according to plan.
Oh, definitely. Y'all executed in every way.
Listen to these guys, man. That's the kind of stuff you'd like to sit over a cold one and listen to. I mean, you know,
we do that. A cold root beer.
Well,
we go to each other and we talk a lot.
Clarify that, root beer. Yeah, you guys haven't invited us. I mean,
I like my tea on the rocks.
Well, Frank, terrific effort. We all three concur. This was a very well-prepared football team here this evening, and they executed a game plan that was obviously well-prepared. Congratulations. Another fast start for the Jays, and it's out of the fire and into the frying pan. You've got yourself one heck of an opponent in the St. Augustine Purple Knights.
Well, as I told you earlier, if the strike continues any longer, they'll be playing Jim Moore. We'll recruit them to play. Thank you very much,
Coach. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Coach Frank Monica and our player of the game, Mark Smith, George Ryan, Manny Baracco. We saw a very impressive effort here tonight from the Jesuit Blue Jays, just as we saw a very impressive effort from St. Aug earlier tonight. Some final comments.
Yes, I guess it was echoed here that it was a good team effort, but you're going to see some real good football coming up here on Cox Cable. We're starting into the meat of the district play, and as we go week by week, we'll be getting down to state playoff berths. This is a start for them, and the weeks to come, I'm sure you're going to see some outstanding high school athletes, and best place to watch them is right there in your living room. Or if you get a chance, come on out to the ball game and watch them here at the stadium.
Well, the lights are going out on the Crusaders here this evening, but Bobby Conlon's team will be back. Nobody knows that better than George Ryan.
No doubt. You can't look at this game as a real big defeat, because Bobby's going to go in and tell his kids, hey, look, fellas, we have 7 more ball games. We got to keep it going. We got to get on the right track. And they got a great coaching staff. And what'll happen is they'll turn this thing around, and they'll be fired up next week. They'll come out to play next week.
Well, George, we appreciate you coming by. I know it's tight with your schedule, trying to scout people and get yourself ready for Rummel this year, but we appreciate it, and you did a great job.
Well, we thank Cox Cable and you two great guys for doing this job, and that's why anytime you ask me to come, I come, because I really respect what you're doing, and we need this type of publicity for high school football. It's just great, and I thank Cox Cable for doing this.
Well, let's hope the Raiders can get a Friday night game sometime in the next 10 years, and maybe we can get you on, Coach.
They won't let us do that.
Thanks, George, for coming by.
Thank you, Ken.
And for Manny Baracco and George Ryan, I'm Kenny Trahan, bidding you a pleasant good evening from the Superdome, where tonight the Jesuit Blue Jays beat the Brother Martin Crusaders 39-7. Don't forget, we'll be back with you next week with another outstanding high school football game from around the New Orleans area. Until then, so long for just a while.